I mean, Javar, welcome back to the show, man. It has been what 2 weeks since we last spoke, I guess. Since the conference finals came and went.
Yeah, give or take.
Some life events in there for
Yeah, some
you.
things going on.
Congratulations
Just got
again,
married.
man. Yeah, man.
Thank you, thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
Um,
Just
but
got back from the
the
honeymoon.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, no. I just got back from the wedding honeymoon. It's been great, man. Thank you for coming. Thanks for watching the dogs. We had a good time, man. Um, luckily, it was great timing with the NBA because there was a big gap from the conference finals ending so quickly on both Eastern and Western Conference. So
Yeah, yeah. There's some very interesting developments in both conferences. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about the LA Lakers. And it's so crazy. Like, why are we talking about the Lakers? It's June. Like, we got eliminated in the first round. Who cares about the Lakers? But goddamn it, Javar, I can't help it. These niggas, they just irk my nerves. The reports are out there. They are all but confirmed that we are indeed going to hire JJ Reddick as our next head coach. Um, Listeners of the pod know in our last pod, I literally said, I don't know how we can credibly hire a guy who has never been in a coach's meeting. He's never called a timeout. Like, but here we are. We're doing it. What do you think? What is your reaction to this? Because it's happening whether we like it or not.
well, I mean, it hasn't been officially announced
It's not.
or
It hasn't.
anything,
It hasn't been.
but Shams is now giving it. He pretty much said they're zeroed in on him. So if Shams is putting it out there, then that's everybody's like, well, that's confirmation because that's been the rumors for weeks. I mean, what else are we waiting for? He's basically the only guy that's still out there looking. That's a name, and he's been linked to the Lakers the whole time. So it's clear they've been trying to wait until after the finals
Mm-hmm.
before they could officially go there with that. So, I mean, I guess I've been kind of convincing myself for this whole time because that's been the heavy rumor and that's been the guy that's sent the whole time. So, I'm not really feeling disappointed either way. I'm just kind of really hoping. I've been preaching this the whole time that um, you just kind of be optimistic about it. But we have to kind of set him up for success by
Mm-hmm.
making sure he has like a good coaching staff that kind of believes in the same vision in him, not just some guys that just because they got experience throw them on. It's got to, hopefully it's more organic or like through that. Maybe that's why they're doing all these interviews. They're trying to put the pieces together. Borrego and there's rumors about trying to poach Dudley from the Mavericks,
Mm-hmm.
Jared Dudley, and that was James Borrego is the guy who's been heavily rumored and he's had like a couple interviews with the Lakers. He's former Charlotte Hornets assistant coach.
He was a head
They made the
coach not too
sorry,
long ago.
head coach. Sorry,
Yeah.
head coach. Charlotte head coach. They made the playoffs a few times. At the bottom of the East, but um, kind of difference of opinion with Lamelo Ball. Kind of, I think that was one of the reasons why they kind of split ways with him. But he's been an assistant the last couple of years. So by all accounts, he gets along well with AD. So he seems like he's really heavily rumored for Lakerland in some shape or fashion. Um, I guess at the end of the day, they're just hoping JJ Redick is like the next Pat Riley or Steve Kerr, guy that's broadcasting and just comes right into it as a head coach. The difference is both of them kind of had a little bit of time apprenticing as either as assistant or as a GM, being close to the team and kind of seeing how those things work, being a part of those meetings probably in maybe not every day, but at least a couple times for since Steve Kerr's. Well, actually, I think he kind of alluded to like uh, Greg Popovich and or Phil Jackson maybe let him get in some of those meetings too. So I don't know. Maybe JJ Redick had some experience like that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's probably not the hard part. The hard part is actually having a game plan that not only that works, and then when it doesn't work, other people adjust to it. Can you make the adjustments mid-season? Can you make the adjustments mid-game?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and you know managing personalities. This guy's he's got a pretty big ego. Maybe that in a way, he could go blow to blow with Stephen A on First Take, and he could have a podcast with LeBron James and disagree with him on things, and LeBron seems to respect it. That goes a long way. Maybe that can We'll see how long how far that carries you. With his ego, his bravado in that case.
Okay.
Um, and again, it really to me it comes down to like the assistant staff and how we build it up for them. And then if that's what LeBron and them want, as long as they play hard and accept whatever he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is really out there though? Who was you really hoping for? What was the name? You was hoping just for some random assistant coach or something?
Yeah, I mean, I was leaning more towards like a Sam Cassell, somebody who played, who's been on winning franchises, who's been an assistant coach for so long. Uh, but it just seemed like he just wasn't a fit for us for whatever reason. So fit
Well,
matters. Go ahead. Go ahead.
we kind of had this same like Sam Cassell was kind of like a Darvin Ham kind of guy, right? Like a long time assistant that came from a winning team, like you know, former players, kind of just the same kind of guy. Maybe they just went in a different direction.
Yeah. And I do think that JJ will have basically no problem in terms of the players. I think that like he's going to come in immediately like with their respect. Now, whether he keeps that or not is going to be up to him throughout the course of the season because, like you said, you can game plan all you want, but when Nikola Jokic is out there fucking your game plan up, what are you going to do?
Hmm.
And now look, I've listened to JJ Reddick's podcast for years now. When I mean the old man in the three, his podcast that he has now. I listen to the Mind the Game pod, even though I don't love it. JJ Reddick is very smart. He's analytical. He's very tactical, which is great. But you need more than that in coaching situations, especially head coaching situations. So there are things that I think JJ Reddick can automatically excel in, like out of bounds plays, out of timeout plays, into the game plays. Like I think that we'll be like a well prepared team for shit like that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Which that
but
helps. I mean, do you feel like
yeah,
that we had that with Darvin Ham all the time?
no, we didn't. No, but I mean, Darvin. I mean, like, I don't think we should be comparing him to Darvin Ham because I think Darvin Ham was just outright terrible. I'm really not sure that he did anything well, and that's so sad. It really is sad because this is a guy that took us to the playoffs 2 straight years, but he just didn't excel at anything in my opinion. Whereas I feel like JJ Redick can at least excel at those things right off the bat. But obviously that's not everything when it comes to coaching, and we're gonna have to figure out what he doesn't do well, and hopefully we can improve on it throughout the season. Because make no mistake about it, when you have LeBron James on your team, you're trying to win a championship. We're not rebuilding. We aren't trying to work through shit. Every season that he's here, we're trying to win a championship. And that's a lot of pressure for somebody who's never coached ever. So we're going to see. We're going to see how it shakes out, man. We are going to see.
I mean, first of all, yeah, like there's still no guarantee that LeBron is going to be here.
He's not taking
You
his
know,
job unless he knows LeBron's going to be here. I don't think.
yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I guess at this point, though we're kind of coming off the end of next year will be our last year giving up a pick from the AD pick, so we're kind of getting our picks back. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we trade them this summer, the ones we have left now,
Yeah.
which may happen.
Which may happen, indeed.
So and two, I guess there's nothing but to be optimistic. Maybe it'll prove us wrong this time.
Hope so.
But history has shown that you only got 2 to 3 years before you're fired as a Lakers coach.
Yep.
That's been the trend since Phil Jackson and or Pat Riley. So like every Lakers coach in the last 40 years, 50
Yeah.
years.
I'm trying to think. Like, let me see. I want to think. I want to try if I can name every coach since Phil left in 2011. Byron Scott, Mike
Yeah.
Brown.
I was going to say you're trying to
No,
go in
no,
order.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
not going to order. Mike D'Antoni, Luke
Okay.
Walton,
Okay.
Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham, and I'm drawing a blank. Who am I missing?
You're missing Mike D'Antoni.
No, I say Mike D'Antoni.
Did you say Bernie Bickerstaff? He was like intern.
Oh my God, no, I forgot about that.
He was
No.
intern for like a couple weeks. Let me see.
I think that's all of them.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But anyway,
I didn't hear D'Antoni, but yeah.
yeah. Anyway, who cares about the Lakers? We suck. We lost. Blah blah blah. Let's talk about the people that were actually in the NBA Conference Finals. Let's start with the East. Unfortunately, this was the least entertaining of the two series, where the Pacers end up getting swept. It's interesting though because I really felt like they could have won maybe 2 out of the 3 games. I mean, game 4 there's just nothing they can do really, but it was pretty much over. But um, I think we need to kind of look at Rick Carlisle, who's somebody that and multiple times in this series in particular just made some boneheaded coaching decisions, whether it was not fouling when you're up 3, just not calling timeouts and your team is turning the ball over, or just like it just seems like there's no type of offensive structure where it's just like get the ball, run up the court, and just make something happen. It's like, wait a minute, like this is the Eastern Conference Finals, like you got to run something.
It's crazy because he used to be like the opposite. He used to really
Yeah,
micromanage and like really do all those type of things. So I don't know. Maybe he turned the dial the completely other way, and that's how they've been winning. And it looks bad when they lose, but maybe that's just how he's rolling. And
yeah.
he's taking the blame for it.
And look, I will give him a little bit of a pass because Tyrese Halliburton, who is their star, he's their best player, he's their best playmaker. He was hurt for games 3 and 4. He got hurt at the end of game 2. So
Yeah.
okay, I mean, it is kind of hard to make good decisions when your best decision maker's not out there. But still, I mean, there were just points in this series where it just looked like they were losing more than the Celtics were actually beating them. But the Celtics again can only play who was in front of them, so I don't think we can fault them much. Jaylen Brown had a fantastic series. I mean, he was pretty much dominating his matchup. Uh, the Pacers did put their toughest defender on Tatum, Aaron Nesmith, and they let anybody guard Jaylen Brown. So he ended up winning the Eastern Conference Player Trophy and went off. So give me your thoughts on this series, man. Tell me what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't like.
No, basically just kind of what you was touching on, how Indiana had a chance to win each game. It were like 3 out of the 4 games. Game 4, it was kind of like a fake try, but
fake try for sure.
but I don't think nobody really thought that they had a chance on winning, especially once Halliburton got hurt. So the series kind of started off exciting. Wasn't game 1 the one that went into overtime?
Yep.
Jaylen
Brown hit a crazy 3. Yep.
Yeah. So man, if they could have won that game, then who knows? They could have went to 6 or something. But
Javar, in that game in particular, they were up 3 with like 20 seconds left. It was their ball.
Just fouled easily. Yeah.
No, it was there, but they had the ball. They just turned it over.
Yeah, just was it Halliburton just gacked it?
Yeah. Yeah. And like they had a timeout. They didn't call a timeout. It's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But
it's almost like even Carlisle didn't really believe they could win or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know he's a Boston guy. Maybe he was shooken up by Bill Walton passing away. Yeah. So I don't know. Which we haven't really touched on that, but he was a Titan.
Yeah, man.
I was growing up a student of the game, always reading biographies and reading the Sports Illustrated and watching documentaries about basketball and stuff. So I know all these guys, and Bill Walton was one who was always interesting because he is just at like one of the highest peaks ever when he was young. Like he was like a great college career, won 3 championships, and then like he won a championship like in a dominating fashion as like a passing player, kind of like Jokic is now. Back in 70s, 77, the Blazers only championship, and they like still love the guy like a god like there for that championship. And then like as I was growing up, he was just always just like this crazy guy on TV commentating games, just saying the wildest stuff. Like everybody knew he was like this hippie stoner, like he loved his weed, and because he was dealing with a lot of pain because of a lot of injuries he's had in his career, which kind of what he possibly succumbed to was kind of dealing with that. So, well, actually, it was cancer. Sorry,
it was cancer. Yes,
but he did live a life of always in pain because of his injuries and stuff. So his career was cut short, but he was able to put in work and then do some stuff while he had it. Just it's stuff that now that guys, they have surgeries for. Like I think back then it was like a ACL, which they tried to do like microfracture, and that just didn't really work. And for a long time they were doing microfractures. They used to fuck people's knees up. Now they just do different ways of ACL surgeries, and now it comes a long way. That used to be like a career ender. Now it's just like it's come a long way. So medical science and how we work out and all that, but. Anyway, kind of just went on a tangent. Rest in peace, Bill Walton. Yeah, but The Celtics, everybody knew they were going to win this series. I mean, I don't really have much else to say other than I wasn't really trying to watch a lot of it. So
yeah, this was definitely not must-see TV like the other series in the Western Conference. The Dallas Mavericks. Oh, go
I just
ahead.
want to say, but it's crazy. The Celtics still, they weren't really challenged this entire playoff run. I mean, shout out to them for handling business. They were the best team all year. I mean, regular
Mhm.
season wise, and they dominated for the most part, other than a hiccup game or two, maybe here, or not just completely washing their competition, but they won the games. But they handled business, and I mean, it's funny nobody really looks at them. I mean, they're not really truly getting the respect they probably should have for like the record and the numbers they put up for the season. Like, but and I saying as a Laker fan, it's just like it's kind of, you know, maybe they finally put their foot down and they realize this is their time. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. They have a tough test in front of them, but let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves series. One series where the Timberwolves are coming up defeating the defending champs in 7 games on their home floor. There was no way that I could pick against them in this series against the Dallas Mavericks. Although I did say, and I have been saying, this Dallas Mavericks team is good.
Yeah,
And I've been saying this since they made
you've been
this
saying this since
trade.
they made the
I
trade.
was
I was
just
about to
like,
say you've
bro,
been getting them.
like this team can fuck around and
They're
go to the
dangerous.
finals.
Yeah.
And here we are in 5 games in dominant fashion. Now look, I thought that the Mavericks had a chance to win this series, sure. There was no way I thought that they would kick the Timberwolves' ass in this series. No way. Um, it
Nobody
all,
picked a damn near sweep, like, or a
yeah,
gentleman sweep.
yeah. Holy shit. Like, I guess it all started with Ant-Man calling out Kyrie, and man, like looking back in history, that may be like one of those things where it's just like, ugh, ugh. Because
I mean,
dude,
it's not like he said nothing disrespectful, but
I agree with that, but it doesn't matter because Kyrie took it personally.
yeah, yeah.
Kyrie averaged like 29 a game in that series.
Guess
I
he
mean,
didn't. You didn't need to poke the dragon. You didn't need to
yeah,
do it.
like oh my
Yeah.
goodness. But look, I want to make a couple points before I pass this to you about the series.
Hmm.
One thing that absolutely shocked me about this series was Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, whoever it was that was trying to guard Luca, they couldn't do anything with him. Like to the point where like they couldn't even stay in front of him. Like he was like it was one move and he was there or bumping him. Like their
Yeah, his
defense on Luca
confidence
was
was
just
so
terrible.
high, and in his jumper, like when he's making shots like that, there's nothing you can't. Nobody can guard him if he's making logo threes and
Yeah.
step backs from 30 every. There's nothing you can do about that. Now you always got to be looking for it. Now you're just prone for him to just walk right past you.
Yeah.
And he's just too good, man.
And the other thing aside from Kyrie, which I'll touch on in a second, um, is nothing I touched on the last pod. I was like, man, like even though I favor Minnesota in the series, they have a big problem. That problem is Rudy Gobert because the Mavericks are going to attack him in every single pick and roll. And look, this isn't
Um,
new. Like we've seen
um,
this for like
Cat's a
years.
big problem too, though. He was terrible for like the first 2-3 games.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't getting picked on. like they were actively like, no, 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 you got him. Like, no, 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 bring his ass
Yeah.
up here. Like
Yeah, which
even
game did Luca hit the game winner on? Was it
it was
game
game
two?
2 in
Yeah.
Minnesota to go up
In
2-0.
Rudy's face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Rudy's face. Like, but like
And it was,
it was
they,
to
they switched it easy too. Like they give up the
yeah,
switch too easy. Yeah.
yeah. It was to the point where like Luca would see Rudy Gobert guarding not Jaden McDaniels, Jaden Hardy. He was just like, here, you take the ball. Like you have Rudy Gobert on you. Like like seriously, like yeah, like eat seriously. Like it was to that point, man. And it's I really shouldn't be surprised, but I kind of am at like just how often they were attacking him, and I guess to an extent how often Chris Finch is leaving him on the floor to be
Yeah,
attacked.
that's the hard part to accept that they never really adjusted. Like,
They didn't at all.
yeah,
Like they basically
that was the coach of the year, by the way.
that was defensive player of the year, by the way.
Oh,
They were basically willing to die with what they brought to the table. And die they fucking did because the Mavericks just ate them up, man. Luka and Kyrie played exceptionally well. I think people are so easy to forget just how good Kyrie is. Like
Yeah.
This dude's
Personally,
finishing ability.
I'm guilty. I mean, I'm guilty. I'm like, damn, Lakers, we should have we should have
Yeah,
really tried to get this motherfucker.
yeah,
Like, well,
yeah. We should
he's
have.
amazing. He's absolutely dominant when the lights get bright. Really, I
I
mean, when
mean,
it come down to it, just keep him healthy and happy, and
yeah.
boom.
Some of the finishes he was making over Rudy
Which
Gobert,
is
who's
not
seven
which is not an
foot.
easy thing. I don't know how what they're doing in Dallas, but
Hey, Mark. Well, I guess Mark Cuban sold the team, but yeah, I mean, he's doing whatever he got to do to make sure Kyrie's always happy. Um, but yeah, look, some of the finishes that he was making over Gobert were just incredible, bro. Like left hand, right hand, hooks, floaters. It's just like this dude can do everything. Um, and yeah, I mean, and last shout out for the Mavericks, Derek Lively. Uh, this is a kid that we've been talking about since the beginning of the season when we were just like, who the hell is this rookie? Like, okay, Victor Wembanyama, okay, Chet Holmgren, but like, who's this Derek Lively kid? Like, this kid can play. He's been solid for them all year. He had a great conference finals, man. Unfortunately, I don't know if the NBA finals would be the same. I just don't know if it'll be his series. But conference finals, man, he played fantastic. Give me your thoughts. I know you were in Mexico for a lot of this series, but give me your thoughts on at least on what you saw, what you heard, some narratives. Let me know.
how are you feeling about Jason Kidd?
I
Like,
mean,
is he just getting better, or like can we accept that he's a good coach now?
I think he's always been a decent coach. I mean, those early years in Milwaukee were okay, but then again, he was the one that put the ball in Giannis' hands. It was like, look, Giannis, you need to kind of be a point forward here. Like you're better than just being a post up player or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that that like water thing he did in Brooklyn is still so hilarious, which is against the Lakers. Hit me, hit me. But
Hey, that was kind of smart to even try it though. I mean, you gotta see what happens. He's
yeah,
just too obvious with it.
yeah,
I think his time with the Lakers, he must have really grown as a coach, being under Frank Vogel the year we won the championship. So, shout out to him because yeah, it seems like he's really making smart adjustments and like doing little things to draw out more time, like sitting guys like right before a timeout's coming, to get extended rest. His stars, I mean. Um, he's kind of letting them do their thing. Offensively and like defensively, they've got to being able to have two versatile defensive bigs is obviously very helpful. I mean, that's what they did with the Lakers when Jason Kidd was there. I don't, maybe we should try to keep that model, have more, multiple defensive bigs that are, versatile, good role options, but also can pass in the pocket like Lively can. I mean, that's making him so valuable, and how good he is as a rookie. I mean, it's defensively is pretty incredible. Like, and how he's just getting better. Have you do you know his story, like about his parents?
not really. I know his mother recently passed away from cancer, but I don't know
Yeah.
anything else yet.
Yeah. That's basically the main thing. But yeah, his dad was in his life, but he died of like an overdose when he was like 8,
Oh wow.
like on drugs. Um, and his mom, she played basketball somewhere in Pennsylvania. She was tall and stuff too, but and she was kind of raised him up on that and coached him up and stuff. But then she was fighting cancer for like a decade and saw him make it to the league, and make his dreams come true, kind of for the most part. But then she succumbed to it earlier this year. So uh, he seems like he has a great head on his shoulder. He's just one of the guy that you root for. So
Yeah, man,
it's
for
kind of
sure.
want to bring that up. So. Um, yeah, I like you said, I didn't wasn't able to watch as much of the game, so like I was just kind of living on the highlights. And so when you talking about like Luca is they can't guard him, Kyrie's incredible. I mean, that's pretty much my takeaways. I mean, um,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like what happened to Ant, man? Like he was unbelievable against the Nuggets, and he just didn't seem only kind of really didn't get off until game 4. He had a good game, but it wasn't even like dominant. It was like 27 points or something.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, let's
Yeah.
who had him on lock on the Mavericks?
Well, it's interesting because he had Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington guarding him for the most part. But realistically, it just kind of looked like Ant was just missing shots. But look, you can say that that's good defense, right? Like if they're making him take tough shots, he shot a lot more threes in this series because the Mavericks were giving him the three. They were
Yeah.
playing like they were going under the pick and roll and making
Hmm.
sure that they were trying to take the lobs away from Gobert and Cat, which is a good strategy. And if Anthony Edwards is going to shoot 10 threes a game, other than attacking the defense, I'll live with it too. And it just seemed like he just didn't have legs, especially in those first two games in Minnesota. Um, I think the Wolves as a team kind of just blew their load once they beat the Nuggets, man. Like they
I
kind of
mean,
gave
the
it everything
Mavericks
they
were kind
had.
of rested. They ended their series a little earlier and had a few more days of rest, right? So
Only it was only one day earlier. Like the
okay.
the, the Mavs ended on Sunday and the T Wolves ended on Tuesday. So I
Well,
mean,
that's a good little couple days.
I guess, yeah.
And dealing with the mile high and just the pressure of actually beating the champ. They probably celebrated like they won the championship after that. For real,
Yeah.
all accounts they were pretty hyped. So
Yeah.
um,
Let's talk
you
about
know,
Cat real quick though.
yeah, I was
Um
about to say yeah, like that the cat thing. Like man, why was he just persistent on shooting these threes, man? Like that's what I remember in the first couple games I saw. Like he just was not getting out from away from the 3-point line. He was literally going like 0 for 8 before he like made a shot. It was like what the fuck, like. Get in the
yeah.
post, like, do something, change it up, bro. Like drive, like you can't just pump fake or do something. Like can't just keep jacking these threes. And they were just like terrible shots. Like, and I remember in game two, right before Luca hit the game winner. No, it was a game one. Actually, it was game one. Yeah, I remember game one. He was towards the end of the game. And he hit like took like a heat check three with like a minute and a half
Oh
left in the
yeah.
game. It was like,
Yeah.
what is
On the
going
way.
on? Like.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So what? Yeah. What
Look,
is they gonna have to trade him, or is because before this series we were talking about, oh, we got he's a number two punch, 1-2 superstar with Anthony Edwards. Now it's just like it
mhm.
just leaves you a bad taste in your mouth after the series.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Because I don't know, like sometimes it
Hmm.
looked like and
Better watch it out. Yeah.
and look, I think we need to kind of point at Nas Reed too, because he did not have a good series, six man of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. He
Um,
was very quiet, actually.
but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Cat is I'm kind of sick of this guy. Like he kind of just he is who he is. He's gonna shoot 10 threes a game, damn it, whether you like it or not. This dude's 7 foot, and he does not care if he's got a 6 footer on him. He's gonna shoot that three, or he's gonna do a turnaround fadeaway. And it's just like, bro, like in game four, when they realized that they were down 3-0, they're about to get swept. Cat came out on fire, but I think he hit 9 of his first 10 shots, but they were all layups. And it was just like, yeah, bro, you're 7 feet. You have a mismatch. Go to the basket.
Like they're not even playing him for the bat to go to the
No,
basket. They were
no,
just yeah.
no, like please continue to do this. Like I'm pretty sure that was like his only good game in the series. I'm just like, man, the inside the NBA guys were very hard on him throughout this series, which, in my opinion, is rightfully so. They were very hard on him to the point where, like, after they won in game four, the T was decided that they didn't want to go and do an interview with them.
I
So
remember reading about that. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, whatever. But Cat, man, I don't know what they're going to do in terms of like the Minnesota situation, because he ain't the only problem. And I don't know if he's the biggest problem. Like they got to do something about this four-time defensive player of the year guy too, that they can't play in certain series. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
but
But we all knew that was for the regular season. That's kind of what we were expecting the first year we got him.
yeah,
They got him. Um, so I'm not really surprised. I mean, I'm more surprised at how effective that was against Denver. Um, but against teams that have driving, people that love to can attack the switch. I mean, he's food, especially if you're going to persistently keep him out there.
yeah, he is a 10-piece wing food. Let's move on. Let's talk about the NBA
Man,
Finals.
I just
Oh,
want to just touch on this though the fact that the Mavericks, who were kind of playing around with the play-in a lot of the year, they had some a lot of the year fighting for the top four seed, but they had some of the year where they were fighting for the play-in. So to, to be a fifth seed and make it to the NBA Finals, I mean, this just proves the parity is unbelievable in the NBA right now. And then kind of going back to what you were saying with the Lakers, like having LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Yeah, I mean Darvin Ham. I mean, he made it to the conference finals last year, but it's about like he, he didn't do what it needed to this year. You got to capitalize on the chances we have, because we only have so many years right now with this. And uh, who knows? Maybe with the right formula going into next year, anybody can. It seems like anybody, if you have a chance to get in, you have a chance. Depending on matchups and how it breaks out in your bracket, you got a chance to win the championship. I mean, last year the Heat were in the play-in, like teetering on losing in the play-in game before they made it to the final. I mean, made it charged their way through, made it to the final. So
Yeah.
seems like every year you just got to try. It's almost like how football is like used to be, or has always has been for a while. It's like
Yeah.
in baseball now, like for better or for worse, we're probably not gonna have like too many more back-to-backs or any dynasties anymore as it
Dynasties, yeah,
stands. But if you got a chance to win every year, like we got to do better next year. So
for
we'll
sure.
see.
The NBA Finals, as we record this, start tomorrow, June 6th.
Makes it fun though. Sorry,
Uh,
last comment.
Boston versus the Dallas Mavericks. Boston does have home court advantage. We are back in the 2-2-1-1-1 format, which I like that better. 2-3-2 is ass. I never really liked that. Give me your thoughts, man. Preview the NBA Finals matchups. And who wins? This is going to be an interesting series.
I'm really looking forward to it, man. I think I don't really see how it could be at least 6 or 7 games. I mean,
Hmm.
I think the Mavericks, of course, have the best player in the series, so that's
Yep.
first and foremost. And it's not like it's it's one and then the Celtics have the next five. I don't think it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie's in there somewhere between Brown and Tatum, or maybe even above him, depending on he can match their performance. You just know Luka's going to be 38-8, plus, with good efficiency, and he's going to talk shit, and he's going to dominate, and just how it's going to be. You kind of know Tatum's going to perform well. Brown's going to perform. They may be a little erratic here and there with like turnovers or how it goes in the clutch. I don't think we have that problem with Kyrie and Luka.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Kyrie's going to perform. He's been amazing this entire playoffs. It really comes down to like how much confidence do these Mavericks role players have. I mean, PJ Washington had a great series against the Thunder.
Yep.
He was okay the rest of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They've was it Jaden Hardy?
Jaden Hardy. Yep.
He's been giving them good minutes, and of course we talked about their centers. Um, Derrick Jones Jr. has been giving them good minutes as well. They've really got 6, 7 guys that they run with.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that are pretty good players. It's kind of crazy. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not even playing.
Right.
And they're just getting Kleba back.
Yep.
The
Which I think is very
Celtics, they're getting
important.
Porzingis back.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how he looks. They're talking about he's moving healthy, blah blah blah. We'll see how that goes. And the Celtics, they've just been a better team. The Mavericks have been performing like a 50-win plus team. I think they actually won 50 games, but like they're a very good team since the trade deadline. Honestly, I can't really call it. I'm kind of rooting for the Mavericks. I'm a little biased as a Lakers fan. I don't want the Celtics to win, obviously. Um, I get the Celtics are the favorites, but I don't really see. I don't think it's like a big favorite.
Right. Okay. So I think the matchups are interesting in this series. I mean, obviously, this is going to be the most the Mavericks have been tested this playoffs, because PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. are going to take the assignments for Tatum and Brown. And Tatum and Brown, I think, which works in the Celtics' favor, Tatum and Brown are not going to guard those guys at all. I don't think Tatum and Brown are going to guard Luka and Kyrie. It's going to be Derek White and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So what this? Yeah. First of all, I'm a Lakers fan. Fuck the Celtics. I don't want the Celtics to win. Okay. So I think what the Mavs have in their favor is that Al Horford matchup. Treat him like Rudy Gobert. Get him on an island and just attack the matchup. Like
Or
Al
Porzingis, I
Horford
think, like side
or
to side.
Porzingis.
I'd like to test that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since he has not been healthy. He has not been playing. But the thing with Porzingis is that he's just so long. I don't know if you want to drive by or shoot over him. But anyway, I mean, if you're Luka, I mean, yeah, okay, go ahead, Luka. But like if you're Jaden Hardy, pass that back. But yeah, man, I think getting back to the matchups of it, I think Tatum and Brown, the difference in the series is going to be if Tatum and Brown are forced to guard or not. I don't think that they can just sit by and let PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. hit these threes, and because then that kind of opens up the game for everybody else. Like that opens up Kyrie's driving lane and Luka's driving lane. Um,
Yeah. Do you think Derek White can guard Luca? Like, it
Absolutely
has
not.
has the size to? Yeah, I just say I think they almost have to have Brown or Tatum guard Luca
No, I don't. Well, I don't
for
think they're going to
for
start
huge
that way.
stretches. Yeah, maybe not starting, but like for
Yeah,
like you can't just leave Derek White on him.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I think eventually all four of them will get their chance, but
And
I think
Drew, I mean, he's just gonna keep posting Drew up,
yeah,
which maybe that's what they want. I don't know, but he's been hitting on mid range and he's them fadeaways.
yeah. But yeah, look, we touched on it earlier. I mean, the biggest thing is Kristaps Porzingis and how healthy and how effective he can be. Which is why I said earlier, like guys like Gafford and Lively, who played a huge role in the Minnesota series. I don't know if they'll be able to play as huge of a role because Porzingis is going to take them away from the basket. They were able to defend the basket at a high level because they were guarding Rudy Gobert, um, and Rudy Gobert just doesn't know what to do when he gets the ball. It's actually like hilarious to watch because he is just
He,
like
he is so
"Ah!"
bad. Yeah.
he's like embarrassingly bad as an NBA player. But Porzingis, man, and Horford to an extent, like they're both going to stretch the floor. The Celtics are always pretty much going to have five guys on the floor that can shoot, unless they run Luke Kornet out there, which that would just be a
I
mistake.
don't think they would. Yeah, in the
They
finals.
they cannot do that in the NBA Finals. So look, I mean, I think both of these teams will be going 7, maybe 8 deep, and obviously, I I, I think the Celtics are the better team. Um, but Luka is the best player in this series, and anytime you have the best player in the series, you have a chance to win a series. So I'm
You
rooting
know,
for the Mavericks.
I'm really looking forward to the like the game within the game as far as like Luca talking shit and just like just that who's gonna like is he talking shit to Porzingis and Brown, like how's that gonna go, like the
Kyrie back in Boston.
yeah, Kyrie back in Boston, yeah, just that those little things, like it's just gonna feel like it's gonna be really heated because Luca, I feel like Luca's feel like he's gonna control a lot of possessions, he's gonna play a lot of minutes, he's gonna shoot a lot, he's gonna
Mhm.
have the ball a lot. um
He deserves to.
and yeah, like I think he's gonna try to slow the game down, and like just really control the pace, him and Kyrie. And I think that's just going to be very effective, like them playing just that many minutes, and just as long as the guys are able to hit the shots when he hits them right in the pocket. Um, I don't know, man. I think I think this could be an unbelievable legacy series for Luca. Like I think he has a
Hmm.
chance to, because he's gone off on the Celtics before. It's not like they
Hmm.
are able to stop him really. So, um, but at the same time, the Celtics, like I mentioned earlier, it has to feel like their time, right? Like, 'cause if they don't win this championship, I mean, I don't know. Like, you've been pretty hard on them, saying like they have to, like earlier when the year started, right? You said like it's now or never.
Hmm.
They have these guys signed long term, but man, it's got to just feel like something's cursed or something's going on if they mess around and fumble this one.
Yeah.
How enchanted the run has been thus far.
Yeah, they have absolutely no excuse. They're healthy, or they're healthy enough, and they're good enough. They're experienced enough. They've been here before. They've been here too many goddamn times. So the Celtics have to win this NBA championship. They have to. But that's the dark timeline. Yes. I want Luka to fucking destroy them. I would love it if the Celtics get swept, bro. Like, oh my god. If it's like if it's just Luka
Well,
40 balls every night and they just can't do anything with him, I mean,
that
whew.
means, are you ready for the Luca era, the Luca and Jokic era before
Uh,
Wemby gets right?
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, shit. Luka Doncic champion at 24. I mean, but anyway, that's probably not gonna happen. The Celtics are gonna win. They're gonna have 19 banners, one more than us. So fuck them. But um,
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Okay.
mm.
No comment further.
Oh man. But look, man. I'm gonna pick the Celtics. Look, they've been the best team all year. It's hard for me to not pick them, even though I want the Mavericks to win. I'm gonna pick the Celtics to win this series, and I'm gonna pick them in 7 games.
Okay, okay. I think actually the Mavericks can win this in six. Win this in their home court in six. I
Wow.
think it can actually happen.
What has to happen for the Mavericks to win in 6 games against this Celtics team?
I mean, Luka Doncic just has to be unstoppable, and you know they win at least one game on the road in Boston. Probably one of these two.
They've done it every series up to this point. Look,
They've been
man.
they've been the underdog in every series for the most part, except for maybe against the Clippers. I think that was kind of 50-50, but
Yeah.
they haven't had home court advantage in any series.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's impressive to make it this far.
Yeah, man. NBA Finals starting up tomorrow, June 6th. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe to the Current Era Pod. We're going to give you breakdowns as much as we can. And yeah, thank you, Javar. Great pod, man.
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
Yeah.